We're Robin and Steve. We've been spending time with my mum at the top of Vanua Levu. It's been nearly a week of kayaking, sailing and walking, and now it's nearly time to go. We share our last morning yoga session. We're nearly out of sunsets. But as we were getting ready to leave, our friends from Genki arrived. So Mum got to meet Sarah and Campbell, who've also sailed from Tasmania.
I can say hi.
It was a family reunion shuffle. Sarah's family had just flown in, and here they are, giving a very well-executed wave.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Thank you.
Goodbyes are awful, so we'll skip that and go straight to our sail to the Yasawa group. First, we backtracked along the top of Vanua Levu. Soon the wind kicked in. Soon we were in open waters interspersed with reefs. We sailed under Vanua Island towards the Yasawa group. Sometimes Steve likes to stand near the helm, even though the wind vane is doing all the work. Now we just have to get over the top of Yasawa Island of the Yasawa group, and a little way down the other side we found beautiful clear waters in which to anchor, and stunning beaches just for us. We had a lovely day of wandering on the beaches and throwing these propeller-like seeds. Boaties may wonder, did we do our sevu-sevu? It's customary here to present kava to the chief to receive a formal welcome. But here, a local hotel's boat came to us once we'd anchored and formally welcomed us here. If only everyone were so hospitable. We sailed south towards Suedi Island. This is a lone little limestone island amongst its volcanic cousins of the Yasawa group. Over time, weather and waves have carved these rocks into some crazy shapes. The island is most famous for its stunning caves, which we didn't visit. We got here in time to shelter from some terrible weather, and between big blows, we did get a quick kayak in, although we didn't go ashore. Our friends Rich and Jude from Amelie had also come here to shelter from this nasty weather. But soon we metaphorically buckled up and set off again in some imperfect weather. And soon it cleared up. We all hoped to meet the manta rays at Manta Ray Bay. But we did stop on the way to eat, walk and snorkel. Here little boats are swarming to load their passengers onto the Yasawa Flyer ferry, and we jumped in right nearby. Here there was some nice coral, and the highlight was meeting this eel. And let's try another angle. Gorgeous. Here we are at Somo village, where all four of us were off to do sevu-sevu with the chief. And then we were off to walk over the top of the island, through some mud and garden, forest and grassland. On the other side of this island there is a plane wreck, but sadly the tide was rushing in. The plane was underwater, but we got to see these crabs in a holding pen of sorts. It's a tank with the top cut out, plenty of coconuts and water. Sounds like Steve doesn't want to eat this sea cucumber. Either does this man. He prepares them for export to China, where they're very popular. We were just wandering by and this lovely lady offered to cut us all a coconut. So thirst quenching. Yep, we were pretty spoiled. Overnight it had rained a lot. The waters were really brown. Would we be able to see manta rays? Only time would tell. Around the corner from Manta Ray Bay, Jude is on the lookout for manta rays. But we found out we were in the wrong spot. We rushed around the corner in terrible choppy conditions. But where mantas were, the visibility was terrible. So Steve and I checked out other cool animals, like these coral reefs. Animals that work with their microbiome to photosynthesize. How cool is coral? Too hot in most of the world as it turns out, but this coral is doing fine. After months I'm going in with 2 flippers. The boring foot saga is nearly completed, so I had more flipper power to catch up with these fish. Pufferfish, blue-spotted cornet fish, blue-spotted trevally, I think. Triggerfish. I've spotted a shark. This shy shark retreats to a cave. It's time for the footnotes. After 5 trips to the doctor, surgical removal of some splinters and lots of antibiotics, it turned out there was still this stick in my foot the whole time. While kayaking, Steve saw it poking out of my foot. And then, back at the boat, I pulled it out. It's a disgusting and happy ending, so on with the show. This is a day of many emotions. Our beloved, hard-working kayak suffered a hernia. We'd seen this coming, so we had bought a spare, and the old one still has good spare parts. Steve has spotted a thing.
There's a shark. Little tiny shark.
No way.
Yeah, look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
I'll go to that shark. Or could be a manta ray. Could be coconut.
Could be coconut,
Could be
yeah.
coconut.
That's coconut. No, it's swimming.
Isn't it manta?
What the hell is it? Oh, it's coconut. Yep, there it is. Mangrove, mangrove seed.
But these weren't mangrove seeds. Next we self-reflect as we watch dolphins.
I don't know why I do that. Yeah, you don't have to.
Sorry, seriously.
I think you hear other people do it. You think, oh, it's a good idea. Oh, thanks.
It's calmer and clearer. Will we see manta rays? We were lucky enough to get some time alone with these amazing animals, but not for long. I'll leave the sound in now. The reality is, tourist operators are flying a drone to spot the manta rays, and when the drone flies low, powerboats swarm and dump loads of people into the water who have all come a long way to see the manta rays. We had the manta ray experience, complete with drone and crowds. Next, we headed off to check out Yasawa Island. The best shelter for the approaching weather was near the village, so we set off to do sevu sevu with the chief. It's actually very crowded here, and we were worried that the chief would be too busy with all the sevu sevus, and that the village would be sick of boaties in general.
See you later, alligator.
Again, we were given a beautiful welcome, and we took the dinghy to the waterfall that we spotted from the boat. It looks picture perfect, but you can't smell it. Below here had a thick, terrible smell of rotting pig manure. Strange. If it was to deter tourists, it did deter me. We set off for a walk to the other side of the island. There are many pigs on this island, but nothing smelt quite as bad as that waterfall. We bid farewell to Rich and Jude, and then carried on to Blue Lagoon, escorted by dolphins. Soon we were to sail to New Zealand, so it was important that we scrubbed our hull and filmed it, so that biosecurity officers would let us in. We got a bit of a surprise while scrubbing, as we came face to face with a sea snake. The banded sea krait was doing laps of our boat, and seemed to want to move into our through hulls. We tried to keep our distance, while still getting the job done. Here at Blue Lagoon, we caught up with our friends from Genki, Sarah and Campbell. I'll leave off with Campbell's kiteboarding skills. Join us next time as our time in Fiji comes to an end, and Steve and I set off to New Zealand but end up somewhere else.